One manager whose future is also undecided, it seems, is Dere McInnes. Massive win for him and Killie yesterday. 3-2 against Dundee. Basically means that Killie are safe.
Yeah, they are safe.
Literally safe, but of course, the links with Hearts just won't go away.
No.
He was on the TV today as a pundit, which, by the way, I think is always kind of weird. Do you not think? Like Rangers Aberdeen, the Killie manager's a pundit.
Yeah.
It's just a bit...
I know what you mean.
It's a bit odd.
But I mean, we've actually got players now that are playing on a Saturday and punditing through the week. So.
But anyway, he said on Sky today that there'd be no contact. Then he sort of said, I've heard there might be contact, but nothing official.
Yeah, wasn't very convincing, was it?
I was going to say, he's certainly not coming out and saying, I'm going nowhere.
No, and nor will he, because he wants the Hearts job. So, I mean, that's going to be, in theory, he wants the Hearts job.
Aye.
And he's looked at the Hearts job for many a long year, Dere McInnes, and thought, what an opportunity somebody could get. If you got in the door at Hearts, what an opportunity you'd have.
Potentially.
Because of the fan base, because of the size of the club. You know, and I think you would argue Hearts are a bigger club than Aberdeen. I would make that argument.
Aye, I think that's reasonable.
And look what he did at Aberdeen. And I think he looks upon Hearts as an opportunity to have a dynasty, a bit of an era. You know, to go there over a similar period of time as he enjoyed at Pittodrie, and to really build something significant, and to consistently get them punching at least the minimum requirement of their own weight, i.e. finishing third. So I am sure that the idea excites Dere McInnes. Absolutely positive about that. What I would say is, you know, I'm not for a single second am I suggesting that he'll be holding a grudge because he was overlooked last time. But as I said, Jackotown Analytics had drilled into the data and come up with that. Is that it was the only obvious answer to the situation back in October. And Hearts went another way. They fed into their computer programming and they came out with Neil Critchley. And that was a shambolic mistake.
Aye.
And unfortunately for Hearts, it's the latest in a line of shambolic mistakes. And here's where it gets interesting. Because Dere McInnes will have to assess, if Hearts pick up the phone to Kilmarnock over the next 24 hours, and I strongly suspect that they will, at some point, Dere McInnes has to sit down and then he has to make an assessment of his own in terms of, can I work with these people? Are these people dependable? Can I trust them? And do I think that I'll be given the best chance of being a success working with them? Because see if he feels that that might be an issue and that they never really trusted him in the first place when they gave it to Critchley, then maybe the answer isn't just as cut and dried as everybody would imagine.
Aye.
Let's not forget, this is the same Dere McInnes who was offered the Rangers job. And at the 11th hour, following a telephone conversation with Dave King, he got the fear because he knew that Dave King didn't really want him. And he felt he couldn't trust him. And he felt his chances of becoming a successful Rangers manager were almost going to be strangled at birth because he felt right away that he wasn't going to have a relationship with Dave King. And that's why he chose to stay at Aberdeen. Now, if Dere McInnes can turn down the Rangers job, well, I take that back. He didn't turn down the Rangers job. He turned down Dave King. But if he can walk away from an opportunity like that, and bear in mind, Rangers has always been his club, then, you know, I think Hearts might have more of a job in their hands than they understand at this point, making sure that they make him feel comfortable and wanted, and that he feels that they will give him the optimum chance of doing what he has in mind for Hearts.
Aye.
And then you have to factor in Tony Bloom. It was Tony Bloom's algorithms which came up with Critchley. Now, there's part of the Tony Bloom involvement, which I'm sure would really excite any manager, Dere McInnes included.
Look at Brighton.
A £10 million investment, the opportunity to access Brighton's database and, you know, the way that they buy players. There's so much to be excited about. You know, and if you walk in to a club, Derek had 8 years at Pittodrie. I don't think at any one point in that period was he cash rich in terms of, look, there's a serious, significant sum of money to go and spend in the transfer market.
Yeah.
He would have loved that. And he'll love the idea, I'm sure, of unlocking a sort of treasure trove like that on day one at Tynecastle. But again, will he want to speak to Tony Bloom? You know, if he felt that Tony Bloom was partly, or Jamestown Analytics was partly the reason that he was overlooked in October. Is there a trust issue there? All these things will need to be ironed out. Listen, what do I think? I think that he'll get offered the job, and I think he'll accept the job. But somewhere in the middle, there's some calculation.